Speaking as someone who has Xenoblade 2 as their absolute favorite game in the series, with lots of love dedicated to Xenoblade 1 when I finally got to play it through the Definitive Edition, saying that ZC3 had big shoes to fill is like saying I'm too tall and big to ride most roller coasters. I think we get it already. Luckily, this is Monolith Soft, so I'm gonna take the time to sim for one of my favorite game developers, and you're just gonna have to sit there and deal with it. The gameplay feels great, and combat feels nice and fluid as it does in previous games. And while I personally prefer Xenoblade 2's blade combat, having a full party of 7 taking shots on Las Criaturas is quite fun. New to the series is the class system. Each of your 6 party members have a class related to the weapons they use, and as they meet other heroes and recruit them to their cause, they can use the classes of said heroes to use different weapons, different stats, and build a team of your own choosing. Like for me, as soon as I got Ethel's sword fighter class for Noah, that was all I needed. Plus, thankfully, you can keep your character's usual clothes if you don't like taking on the armor of the hero you're swiping skills from. Unique to our 6 leads is the Ouroboros transformation. After building the gauge to a certain level through combat, Noah with Mio, Uni with Taion, and Lans with Senna can fuse together to become a super giant with stronger skills and abilities. However, these do have a time limit, and if you exceed it, you'll be forced out of Ouroboros form for longer than if you exit it yourself to prevent overheating. I don't have a lot of issues with the game aside from how I think the locations and villains aren't very memorable, at least the main ones, and I almost feel like that's intentional. Xenoblade 1 is about how the future isn't set in stone, and that it takes courage and willpower to make your own destiny. Xenoblade 2 is about how the past can negatively impact us, how love can help us grow to forgive ourselves, and trying to find optimism in a bleak and slowly dying scenario. Xenoblade 3 concludes this trilogy by focusing on the present, specifically the now, with almost every aspect of the game representing this middle ground. Ionios has Greek ties, meaning without beginning or end. The 2 protagonist names begin with M and N, the middle letters of the alphabet, and are the only ones with counterparts from a previous cycle who have joined Mobius, with Noah's counterpart N not wanting to lose his love, with a major arc of the story being about Noah's growth beyond that, and rising from the despair N causes him with Mio, as her death is the closest out of the whole group. Characters like Noah, Uni, and Lans, representing the world of Bionis and Mechonis, are forced into a massive proxy war, with characters like Mio, Taion, and Senna representing the world of Allrest. Leading the armies of Kevis and Agnes are Queens Melia from Xenoblade 1 and Nia from Xenoblade 2. Except, lol, nope, they're robots! This war is prolonged by the Mobius consoles, the true rulers of Ionios. They're like the Patriots in Metal Gear, but much more literal. Each basic person has only 10 years to live, and are governed by their colony's flame clocks, which allow for them to be used like puppets. The 6, who were recently freed from their flame clocks by becoming Ouroboros, decide to spend the last bit of their time setting people free so they won't be forced to fight anymore. This is especially important because the war they fight is quite pointless. They fight in order to take each other's flame clock energies, and essentially because they're told to. While in actuality, the Kevis and Agnes have no real reason to hate each other, as our heroes learn on their journey as outlaws to the world. Mobius exerts this control from dead characters within Ionios who would rather continue the existence of the war, keeping Ionios in an endless now. How did this come to be? Well, Xenoblade 2 confirmed that it and Xenoblade 1 take place at the same time in parallel universes created by Klaus with the Conduit. However, these universes are merging back together and can result in the destruction of both universes' people. So Queens Melia and Nia, the real ones this time, not wanting to let the worlds they helped remake and improve die, create the origin system so that they can allow the people to survive and rebuild their cultures. However, it was infected by the fears of the digitized citizens, creating the movie Usher Who Can't Stop Playing Grown Ups 2, Zed. This merges both worlds into one while taking away the beauty of both, leaving behind wastelands of war grounds with only a few colonies populating the land. This is why I figured the lack of memorability of each area and the lack of character and lead villain Zed were completely intentional, as it could be used to say that fear of moving forward leaves you trapped, and can leave you without new experiences that you can enjoy. Thankfully, the Mobius villains that do get more focus are the human ones who are actually really interesting. You know, people the main 6 know, like Yoren, driven insane by learning of all the deaths he's faced every cycle, Or Shania, who joins Mobius after growing bitter over the natural life that our heroes long for, and prefer the idea of essentially living forever through different cycles. Villains like these two and N steal the show, and act as a reflection of how dangerous living exclusively in the present can be. As such, the Ouroboros represent the opposite. Instead of pushing back against change for fear of the future, they seek it out despite that inner anxiety and live in the moment. They know that their time will run out soon, and they choose to use that time to help others. As such, the moments our 6 characters share during the story are my favorite parts of the game. The 6 of them represent how the moments of the present can be great, if taken within means, and Melia and Nia supporting them in the final battle showcase the future and past supporting all of them in the final fight. The ending of the game is really bittersweet. The Ouroboros players all love each other and don't want to be apart. However, they accept that this needs to happen in order to keep everyone safe, so they choose to keep the memory of each other and move on to their own futures. So when a now young Noah hears the flute of a young Mio he couldn't possibly know exists, he still feels content because the moments that the two shared did happen, and they are buried in their souls, and like it or not, those memories are still there. The fact that the journey even happened makes the sadness of the destination not hurt as much.